Today's question is the very sad, hey Todd, how do I get my ex back? I miss her so much. All right, so I get this question a lot in various forums. This is probably one of the biggest questions guys are asking as they're getting into the game because they got motivated by something and oftentimes it was a breakup. I have some bad news for you. You may not get your ex back. The advice I'll give you in this video will give you the absolute best chance, but it still is less than 50% to work for sure. Also, or maybe more importantly, you will get benefits from this advice way beyond getting your ex back to the point that you probably won't want your ex back. And that's really the point. And also, ironically, if you get her back, will be the time when you no longer want her back. Okay, that was a lot of all over the place. Let me get to it. If your relationship ended, there probably was a reason. It may be because of you, it may be because of her, it may be because you're incompatible. But at this exact moment, there was a reason why it ended. And as long as that reason still exists, it's gonna be unlikely to get her back. Also, if it actually ended, if it's actually over, you're going to be unlikely to get her back. Because the point at which I would say it's actually over is when communication has stopped between the two of you. If you or she broke up with each other last night, and you're still in touch with each other, and you're still sending angry texts back and forth, you're not done. You're not broken up. That one you might be able to get back for sure. That could absolutely happen, right? That's just a fight. That's just maybe an extreme fight, but it's a fight. The point at which you are truly broken up is the point at which you are no longer in contact with each other. At that point, it's very hard because if she has moved on and you are sending her messages, every single message you're gonna send is going to be needy, which is probably going to make her want to talk to you even less. And so you're in this weird problem where you need to communicate to make the relationship work again, but every single time you try to communicate is very needy and try hard. And she may even have told you she doesn't want to hear from you, in which case it's also kind of pushy as well. So with all that bad news out of the way, let's talk about what would actually get your ex back. The thing that would actually get your ex back or would attract any woman to you is probably the same things that attracted your ex to you in the first place, which is being a high value man, being confident, having an abundance of women, being willing to walk away, being on your own path in life and achieving things that make you happy and are impressive to a woman. And what do most men do right after a breakup? They wallow. They get sad, they get depressed, they don't go to the gym, they don't go as hard at work, they don't go out and meet new women, they don't work on themselves. Oftentimes they stop bathing. So the secret to getting your ex back, if it's going to happen, is this. You need to be having an awesome life such that if she were to see it, she would remember the good things and be jealous and want you back. Also, another thing that would massively help with getting her ex back is if she saw you with another girl that is more attractive than her and it made her jealous, it made her feel something, it made her realize she still cares. So, what is the best way to get your ex back? Number one, keep communication open if you're still interested. You do not want to be begging and pleading and trying to get back together and that kind of stuff, but if you do keep it on a level where you guys are still friends or you are still in the same social group and you will bump into her again, that will make it possible. However, the way to actually get her back is indirect. The way to get her back is to have a great time with all those friends and be living your best life. The way to get her back is to be dating a new girl so that her friends tell her how amazing this new girl is and she gets jealous and she wonders what's up. Now, ironically, if you are dating a new girl who's better than her, probably when she comes back, you should not take her back. Because the new girl, by definition, we just said, is better than her. But also, there was probably some reason why the relationship didn't work in the first place. Most of the time, when a relationship ends, you're better off forming a new relationship from scratch now that you're a stronger person, a more knowledgeable person, now that you have the experience of that relationship and what went wrong, and you can construct a new relationship without those things being wrong. But again, I know if you're watching this video, you're hung up, you want your ex back, fine, you can do these things with the idea of getting your ex back, but I promise you, by the time you're actually ready to get her back, you won't want her back. I'm gonna end this video with some bittersweet news. If you had a good relationship or a relationship over any period of time that you're emotionally invested in, you probably will always miss it a little bit, but you will miss it less over time. You probably miss it a lot right now, and you probably long for it now, partly because it was good, at least certain parts were good, partly because you feel an emptiness and a lack because you don't have something replacing it, and partly because it's a fresh wound. But the more you meet other women, the less you're going to miss it in such an acute way. The more you move on and enjoy your life, the less you're going to miss it in such an acute way. At some point, when you're with a better woman in a better relationship looking back, you can look back fondly on the good times, not miss the bad times, and be happy for the experience you had. And that's where you really want to get. And ironically, when you get to that point, that is the point when it's quite possible your ex may come back knocking on your door. And the goal is this. The goal is that when she comes knocking, you have moved on and no longer are interested. That's what you're actually trying to do. At that point, you can make a decision if you do want to take her back, but probably you're still better off not. Or take her back, whatever. That's your decision, but the point is to be making that decision from a position of power and abundance where it's your choice, not your scarcity and misery deciding for you. So that's today's video. I hope you can take a lot away from it. If you do want your questions answered, I do still answer questions on this channel, but the main place I'm answering your questions these days is on my podcast. And it's actually a great platform for that because it's much more intimate. I'm not beholden to YouTube or the algorithm or being politically correct, so I can really just say exactly what I want to say. So check out the link to my podcast. It's a great place to ask your questions. Also a ton of great information. Check that out as well. I'll see you on the next video and hopefully see you on the podcast too.